Hey guys, so today is my reading wrap up for the month of March, and unfortunately I only read 5 books, which, I mean, for some people 5 books is a lot of books, but for me 5 books is like, it's this reading slump. But I have a reason why I didn't read as many books this month, and that's because I upgraded from this phone to this phone, so I ended up being able to finally play Pokemon Go, so that was a whole week of my life dedicated to nothing but Pokemon Go, basically, and Snapchat, and I have Instagram, and there are links to those in the description below if you want to follow me on those. I use Snapchat so much, I'm sure it drives my friends crazy, but I don't care. Sorry, friends. But that's why I didn't read that many books, but now I'm going to do my wrap-up. Yes, now I'm going to do my wrap-up, and I read 5 books this month, 4 of which I'm going to talk about in this video. The 5th one's kind of a separate thing, but I'm going to list them in the order that I liked them least to most. Yes, that's the way I'm going to do it. And of course, while packing up all my books, I put the ones that I need for this video on the very bottom of my bag. So give me just one moment. Or just edit this out, Steven. You can just do that too, that's fine. So the first book I'm going to talk about, turns out I actually don't have a physical copy of it because I borrowed it and then I remembered that I gave it back. But that's Alice in Wonderland and Alice Through the Looking Glass. It was the 2 of the stories combined into one edition. If you don't know what Alice in Wonderland is, I don't know how. But it's Alice's adventures through Wonderland and through the Looking Glass, and it's not as good as what I was expecting it to be. I kind of hoped it would be something a little bit more than what it was, but I think that's just my fault for overhyping it inside my head. It was a good story. Well, it was a fun story. It was a silly story. It was more wordplay than anything else, which I kind of enjoyed, but it was incredibly irritating, and everyone was so rude. I still gave it 4 out of 5 stars, I believe. I did like it, I just wish I liked it more than I did. But that's And the next book I'm going to talk about is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. This follows the story of Georgie, who is a comedy writer for TV, and her relationship, or her marriage, with Neil, who is a stay-at-home dad with their 2 kids. And they it's Christmas time, and they had plans to go visit Neil's parents, but something came up at Georgie's work, so she has to stay behind, so Neil takes the 2 kids and goes anyway. And then Georgie realizes that, oh crap, maybe he left me. And then she goes to stay with her parents, and while there she has to use a landline because her phone sucks, and using that landline she ends up calling back in time to Neil before they ended up marrying each other. Yes, that makes sense. And now she has to make a choice, now that she can call into the past, whether she wants to break up with Neil before they even got married, before they had the kids, or if she should just continue with her life knowing what she knows now and just try and make things better. And it was a really cute story. I liked the characters in it. I felt like Neil was a little bit too cartoonishly stoic in a way. The characters were really good. The story was light and fluffy. The magical realism was great. I appreciated a lot of the stuff that this book did. It's my first Rainbow Rowell book, but it definitely won't be my last one. The next book is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is the 4th book in the Harry Potter series. It's Harry's 4th year in Hogwarts. He gets entered into the Triwizard Tournament through mysterious circumstances. And it's basically just it's Harry versus the forces of darkness. Again, I think this is my 2nd favorite one of the 5 that I've read. I've only read 5 of them. It has some stuff in it. Harry starts to get so angsty in it, and it starts to drive me crazy after a while. I'm currently reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Again, I read it last year, and I'm reading it again this year, and it's not as frustrating as it was last year, but God, he's so angsty. I love this one because I get a little bit more backstory on Neville, and really it's just I get more backstory on Neville. And the plot starts to take a darker turn, which is nice. And then finally, the 5th book that I read this month, and like the best book, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is the 3rd book in the Harry Potter series. It introduces a lot of new characters and some interesting new stuff to it. The Patronus charms, which are pretty cool. This is my favorite book in the series of the 5 that I read so far. I liked that it didn't have really anything to do with Voldemort. It was a nice little change of pace for everything. It had the most fun, the most mystery, the most intrigue. It was, yeah, it's my favorite. Like, I love this one the most out of all of them. I also read The Right to Be Cold by Sheila Watt-Luce, and I really did enjoy this book, but I'm not going to talk about it here because I have an entire other video dedicated to all of the Canada Reads books, and you should go watch that one. I really feel accomplished in how I managed to read all 5 of those books and do reviews for them and everything like that, and get it all out before the actual Canada Reads stuff started happening. So, I mean, yay me. And there you go. These are the 5 books that I read in the month of March. I hope to read more books next month because 5 was just not what I was hoping to do. So hopefully next month has more books, and yeah. Follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. There are links below in the description. Subscribe to this channel, I guess, if you want. And yeah, bye!